and really life-changing experience. And thank you to Steph for having the foresight of hiring such an amazing intern. But truly, I am humbled that you chose to have me on the team. So I really give you lots of thanks. The best boss ever. He's a horrible boss. Now,
it kind of looks like it.
So I was asked by corporate to do this presentation to really explain four main things. What I expected to learn out of this internship, what I actually learned while I was here, and how will I apply now what I've learned back at school and after this experience. And then to go over some of my contributions. Now, when I originally put the presentation together, I met with Rick so we could get a chance to review it, go over it. And then Rick told me that it was a tad boring. Now, if Rick tells you that, you know you're in trouble. So I took it upon myself to really kind of shift it and mold it, because I wouldn't want you to doze off in a 10-minute presentation. And really, what I also want to do with presentations is to give you more of an insight on why this has been a defining moment in my life. I have you guys to thank for that, for making that possible. See, as a senior in high school, I graduated at the top of my class. I got accepted to some of the top universities, and I was ready for the future. Then one evening, my mom came to me with tears welling up in her eyes, and she shared with me bad news that my dad had recently gotten laid off, and they were having trouble paying the mortgage and paying the bills. So at that point, I made the decision that I think any responsible son would make. I decided, you know what, let me put my dreams of going to college and one day working at a Fortune 500 on the shelf, and let me go to work so I could help my mom make ends meet. So sadly, I ended up at a dead-end job, and I was kind of complacent, comfortable, and that continued for some time until one day I was tutoring my brother, and he needed help with his algebra, his math homework. And he asked me, Jeff, you know, why should I even bother learning this stuff? And I told him, look, man, if you want to go to college and you want to get a good career, you need to know this stuff. And he looked at me and said, Jeff, you're not in college. So at that moment, I decided, you know what, I need to make a change. And that's when I got serious. I enrolled in college, and I made it my goal, and I accepted to my university that one day I want to get an internship working at a Fortune 500. And today, I am here. And not only am I present here, but this experience has far exceeded my expectations. I got a taste of corporate America and of life here at ADP, and I got to tell you, I'm hooked. And I got, of course, you guys to thank for making that possible. Now, when I came to ADP, I told myself, wow, I'm going to learn a lot about security systems and home alarms. Well, see, that's not one exactly, right? I didn't really know much about what ADP, really is. So I came here with the goal of digging deep into the company functions and learning more about what you guys do, your role here, day in and day out. And then so I could take that information and go back and educate those around me because they were in that same boat that I was earlier. I also wanted to learn more about corporate sales. Prior to my experience here, I only had sales experience dealing directly with the clients, directly with the end user, the customer. So I really didn't have that prior business-to-business experience. And I didn't just want to see it being done. I actually wanted to be actively engaged in that process. And I also came with the goal of meeting really cool people that I could have a professional relationship with. But unfortunately, I didn't find them, so I'll settle for you guys. But, I mean, seriously, getting to know you, each of you guys individually, has been one of the highlights of this experience. So some of the key lessons that I took away, of course, I learned about all these things that you see up here. But mostly I learned about, first of all, the major account sales culture. And I learned that change is really constant. It's going on here every single day. But change is good. And learn, being here at ADP, you learn to embrace that change because it's going to help you succeed at your goals. It's going to reveal new opportunities to you that you maybe didn't see in the past. And you get a chance to be more creative and really move forward. Also, you get a lot of support. I mean, all the time. We have webinars and training. We have staff and Ryan's managerial support there at all times. They need to come with us on the sales calls. And then we have each other. We're able to kick around ideas, brainstorm, and that's really great to have that. But even though you have the support, you also have a great deal of independence. But with that independence comes great responsibility, because ultimately, you're in control of your success here. And then I learned also how important partnerships are. I mean, they're really it's a big deal. I mean, learning to have partnerships internal with SBX, Total Source, Mark, and 401k, and then the external partnerships with brokers, FAs, industry professionals, and I mean, sure, you could try to be successful all by yourself, but why not make these alliances? Because if it works on Survivor, it should work here too, right? And of course, family environment. I mean, that's something that I really love here. It's like one big, dysfunctional, awkward family. And you guys have a lot of love for each other. But I really. So that's been great. You guys are awesome. Now, of course, I also learned a lot about strategic selling, and all that goes into it, like profiling. It's so intensive. I felt at times like I was writing a research report for one of my classes. It's time-consuming, but it's honestly one of the best investments that you can make, because you want to get this information, you want to know this. But also, I mean, I'm sure you've heard this a lot before too, right? Knowledge is power. But I disagree with that. I believe that knowledge is really only potential power. It's how you apply what you know that really makes a difference. So that's also known as strategy. So we learn about strategy all the time, right? It's like playing the game of chess. I mean, sure, we could play and just kind of think of the move that we're doing right there and then, but if we do that, we're only really reacting to what our opponent does. The grandmasters of chess, they learn about their opponent, they create a strategy, and then while executing that strategy, they're thinking 4 to 5 moves ahead. Their goal is simple: check. So in sales and major accounts, we also have that mentality. I mean, you can't just go into an account hoping that they're going to want what we're selling. We have to know them. We have to strategize. We have to think ahead, and we also have to close. Checkmate. You win. Now, of course, you know, these props are pretty cool, right? They help kind of garner a little bit of your attention, and that's something that I learned here as well. The importance of creativity. I didn't know how important it was at a Fortune 500 until I came here. And I'm kind of utilizing things like this when I go back to school and on my future presentations. And I think one of the highlights, Andy, I'm sure you remember this right here. One of the highlights was locking myself into a room with Andy and Rick, and we talked about pregnancy. But it's not what you think. It was just part of the creative process, brainstorming the idea that we won first place in the Miami CBI competition. So that's what it resulted in, because our goal from the very beginning was very clear. We want to develop a message that separated us from the competition, and then to deliver it in a very memorable and unique way that created those results. So thank you, Andy and Rick, for making that possible. And then outsourcing. I didn't know anything about outsourcing. Like, what I really knew was what I learned in class, which was this, right? But then coming here, I realized that we're outsourcing all the time, whether it's getting your clothes dry cleaned, whether it's hiring someone to do your lawn, or even hiring a mechanic to change your oil. These are things that we probably could do ourselves, but for whatever reason, we decide not to. So outsourcing is simply this. It says where the work could be done outside better than it could be done inside, then we should do it. So bottom line is you do what you do best, and then you outsource the rest. So how will I apply what I learned here back at FIU? Simple. I'm going to learn more about business strategy. I really didn't have too much knowledge of that coming in, but my goal is to learn more about how CEOs, CFOs, how they think, so I could apply that when I come back here if that opportunity is available. And of course, presentation and networking skills. I want to continue to work on that. I see how important it is. We do it all the time. So presenting yourself and also getting to meet people, I think that's a big key. Asking questions, be proactive. I mean, we do that with our clients all the time, right? We keep asking, keep probing, keep digging, and that's how you get the information you want. And then becoming an ambassador for ADP. I plan on taking all the knowledge here, and when I go back to school, these are people that are majoring in finance, accounting, business administration, the future CEOs, CFOs, the future founders and entrepreneurs of our community. So what better place to network with them than in my own school? So I'm putting seeds for future clients. Now, my contributions. While I was here, I profiled several key accounts. I compiled a list of 401k company plans. I organized territory maps and databases, cold calling, gathered information, set appointments. I got first place in the Miami CBI competition. I did lots of role playing with sales reps. We did strategic planning for account follow-ups, and of course, we did a lot of drops. And I even got coffee and donuts for Joe. So that concludes this presentation. I just want to give you guys my sincere thank you.
No, I really think you've done an amazing job. I think you have wonderful communication skills. You have a great voice, and I really believe that you have a great opportunity to come back to ADP and be a part of the team.
Definitely.
So we look forward to you coming back.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Is that money?
We can help you out here.
Okay, yeah. The girls do anyway. I don't think we want to have it. We can knock one of these off.